You work. You get paid. You pay your bills. And somehow you still feel broke. Not because you spend too much. Not because you don't earn enough. But because of one quiet mistake most Americans never even notice. Here's what nobody tells you. The average American keeps all their money in one place, one account, one bank, one pile. And that feels responsible, right? Everything's organized. Everything's visible. But what's actually happening behind the scenes is the opposite of organized. That account isn't saving you money. It isn't protecting you from emergencies. And it's definitely not building your wealth. It's doing something else entirely, something that banks are counting on you to never notice. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's talk about something called the money illusion. When your paycheck hits your account, there's this brief moment, maybe 48 hours, where you feel okay. Rent's covered. Netflix is paid. You've got a few hundred left over. So you relax. And that's exactly when the leaking starts. Not the big expenses. Not rent. Not your car payment. The tiny ones. The $4.99 here. The $14 there. The lunch that wasn't that expensive. And because everything lives in one account, your bills and your spending and your savings, it all blurs together. You look at your balance and think, I've got $600 left. But what you don't see is that $400 of that belongs to next week's electric bill. You're spending money that was already spoken for. And the account never tells you that. It just shows you a number. But here's where it gets worse. Banks aren't charities. They are businesses, and their most profitable product is your confusion. When you keep everything in one account, you spend more. Studies consistently show it. Not because you're bad with money. Because your brain can't separate the money I have from money I can spend. Psychologists call this mental accounting, the way humans assign meaning to money based on where it lives. When all your money is in one place, it all feels available. But split it across different accounts with different purposes? Suddenly that vacation fund doesn't feel touchable for takeout. The account label changes the psychology. And this isn't theoretical. There's research out of Harvard and Duke that shows people who segregate their money into separate purpose-driven accounts make smarter spending decisions consistently, even when the total balance is identical. Same money. Different psychology. Wildly different outcomes. That sounds smart until you see what happens next. Here's the part that makes people genuinely angry when they realize it. That savings account your bank gave you? The one you feel good about having? It's paying you almost nothing. The average traditional savings account in America pays around 0.01% interest per year. That means if you have $5,000 sitting there, which is a lot for most people, you'll earn about 50 cents. 50 cents. Meanwhile, inflation is eating your money at 3%, 4%, sometimes more per year. So while you think your money is safe, it's actually shrinking. And this is the part nobody talks about. Not keeping your money doesn't just mean spending it. Keeping it in the wrong place is also spending it. Just slower. And invisibly. If you're still watching, this next part changes everything. Okay. Stop. Because everything we've talked about so far, the impulse spending, the psychology, the bad interest rate, that's real. But none of that is the actual problem. Here's the twist. You've been taught your whole life that managing money is about self-control. Spend less. Save more. Stop buying coffee. And while you've been blaming yourself for not having enough discipline, the system you were handed was designed to make discipline nearly impossible. One account. Mediocre interest. No separation. No automation. No structure. It's not that you failed the system. The system was never built for you to win. A person with perfect self-control can still fail financially inside a broken structure. And a person with average self-control can thrive financially inside a smart structure. That's the real difference. Not willpower. Not income. Structure. And here's what a smart structure actually looks like. This is what people who quietly win with money do differently. They don't have one account. They have a system. Account 1, the bills account. Only your fixed monthly expenses live here. Rent. Utilities. Insurance. Subscriptions. You calculate exactly what that number is, and that's what you transfer in, nothing more. This account is untouchable for spending. It's infrastructure. Account 2, the spending account. This is your day-to-day money. Groceries, gas, dining out, fun. You give yourself a weekly or bi-weekly allowance. When it's gone, it's gone. No guilt. No mystery. You know what you have. Account 3, the emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses. Not touched. Not counted as available. This account exists so that when your car breaks down or your hours get cut, and at some point, they will, you don't go into debt. This is your psychological anchor. Account 4, the growth account. This is where your money actually works. High-yield savings accounts currently pay 10 to 50 times more than traditional savings accounts. That same $5,000 earning 50 cents a year? Inside a high-yield account at 4.5%. That's $225 a year, and that compounds. Same money. Different structure. Completely different outcome. Now here's the part that ties it all together. You automate it. The moment your paycheck arrives, you set up automatic transfers. Bills account gets its amount. Spending account gets its allowance. Growth account gets its percentage. Emergency fund gets a fixed deposit until it's full. You don't make decisions on payday. Decisions are where you fail, not because you're weak, but because decisions require energy and payday is stressful. Remove the decision. Automate the structure. Let the system protect you from yourself. This isn't a willpower upgrade. It's an infrastructure upgrade. Here's what I want you to take away from this. You're not bad with money because you lack discipline. You've been using a single blunt tool, one account, for a job that requires 4. And the bank giving you that one account? They benefit every single time you overspend, undersave, and mistake having a balance for having a plan. The fix isn't complicated. It's not expensive. This week, open one new account. Label it. Decide what it's for. Set up one automatic transfer. That's it. That's the first move. Because the person who has 5 accounts with clear purposes isn't richer than you. They just made their money harder to accidentally spend. And that one change, that structural shift, is what separates the people who always feel broke from the people who quietly, steadily, build something real. Your money hasn't been failing you. Your structure has. Now you know how to fix it.